Hello, welcome everyone. It is FMC. I am Jeremy. That is SP3. What are you drinking? That is not coffee. That looks like some type of soda.
It's Friday mornings. Friday morning Coke.
Oh, Friday morning Coke. Okay, I respect it. I respect that actually. Very nice. Very nice. I have water. Yeah.
There you
I've already
go.
had my coffee for the morning, so I'm on water already. So get up too
FM,
early.
FMW. That sounds like a vehicle.
Is there a C word for water? I don't
Mm,
I don't know.
H2O. I don't know if there's any
There's
C's
no
in
C in
there.
H2O. What are we talking about here? SC3?
It's early, ladies and gentlemen. It's early in the
It's not
morning.
over there. It's like 12 o'clock over there, isn't it?
Oh,
Or 1 o'clock.
it's like 1:30, but trust me, I'm still on U.S. time. I don't get up until like 10 a.m. here, which is like 5 a.m. at home, which is pretty usual the time I wake up with the kids and stuff when I'm back at home. But yeah, I'm still on U.S. time still.
Did you see Alex McCarthy for his birthday? Did you punch him in the face?
I haven't got to see Alex yet. We've been trying
Wow.
to situate it with me, him, and Sat. Trying to like connect the whole Daily Boys contingent together. Sat's about to have a baby. My
Oh.
birthday is next week, so we're trying to get it situated, but we haven't worked it out because I'm like 2 hours from London, where I'm staying at. So it's a little bit difficult, and I don't know the trains and bus format out here, and they're trying to tell me, "Oh, come to London, it's closer for us." And I'm just like when Alex was in New York, I went all the way to Brooklyn. You know how far Brooklyn is from the Bronx? I went all the way to Brooklyn and I hung out with Alex. Y'all telling me y'all
You
can't
are
get a little bit closer to where
yeah,
I'm at?
you already made the trip over there. Like they gotta at least go the rest of the way for you. And
Thank
see, Alex
you.
McCarthy sucks. He's a jerk. He's awful.
We
I'm gonna
need someone to just clip this and tag
I'm
Alex.
gonna I'm gonna invite him on this show. Hold on. I don't know what he's doing right now. I'm just gonna
Yes.
send him this link. Hold on. There's my DMs with Alex McCarthy.
And
Okay,
since
I
we
just
we could make the Entourage review early if he
we
does
can
click the link because he
we can.
watches Entourage. So Hannah, I hope Hannah is ready because we're gonna send her the link too when we talk about the Challenge All Stars episode 1.
Yes, we're only talking about episode one. I did not realize 2 episodes had been out. I watched the first episode and I was like, all right, cool. Because before they just did it 1 episode a week. So maybe
Yeah,
they did a 2 episode premiere for like when past seasons when it like actually premiered. But
no,
okay.
no, because All Stars 2, they'll remember everybody was like complaining online about All Stars 2, where they only had the first episode, and the first episode didn't even have an elimination last season. So this
Oh,
one,
right.
I feel like they were overcompensating because of the
Okay.
complaints from last year, and they gave us 2 episodes with 2 eliminations. But man, the format is so much better. It's just so much better. Just so. Oh, okay.
Oh, Hannah
She said,
hasn't even watched it yet. It is
"Don't
because
worry." Don't
yeah,
worry, Hannah. I literally had to wake up early today and find like a Daily Motion link because I don't have Paramount Plus out here. They don't have Paramount Plus in the UK until June 22nd. I'm like, that's like probably the week of the finale. Like, y'all want me to wait that long?
I remember last year, like when we would have our group chat and you guys were talking about, it's like, don't spoil it anything. Like I have not seen it yet. I would like binge watch it on like the weekends and stuff. Like I'd be a couple episodes behind, and then I finally have the weekend. I binge watch it. But since I knew we were gonna review it every week, I was like, well, I gotta make a point to watch it. The problem is I can't go to like the challenge wiki or anything to like refresh my brain when we do the review here because I'm gonna spoil episode 2 for myself. So I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to recall what happened on episode 1. You're gonna have to lead the review so I don't spoil it. Alex McCarthy has DM'd me back and he just said, eh. What do you mean, eh? That's what I'm gonna find. What do you mean, eh?
This guy. You should someone clip it. Someone clip the beginning where we talk about Alex McCarthy and Sat. Also, you can tag Sat in there, not being willing to come a little closer to Sudbury and making me have to take it's like an hour and 10-minute trip. That's literally the amount of time it took me to get to the Brooklyn from the Bronx when Alex was in New York, and they can't do it. They can't do it the other way.
I've
Look at
been
this.
trying to tell everybody for like years now that Alex McCarthy is horrible and no one should like him, and this is why he's my worst enemy. He's terrible. He's terrible. And this is just further proof. Terrible person, terrible friend. Further
I love
proof right
that.
here.
Hannah, I'm the same way as well. I follow way too many of the challengers. So literally I knew bits and pieces of the first two episodes from following Tina. Tina's a great follow though. Tina is pretty awesome. I felt kind of bad that I didn't draft her higher in our fantasy draft last week, but who was? I feel like we're jumping ahead because we do have to talk about NBA because people come here early for the NBA talk.
We are all over the place because McCarthy is like, "What are you sending me links for?" And I'm just saying, SB3 and I are burying you. I'll pull up mainly me. I don't want to get you in trouble. You actually like Alex. I don't.
Yes, he's my brother from an Irish mother. He is the.
He will come visit you though, SB3. I will come visit you if I was close enough, but he won't.
Man, I can't wait till you and the EP come to New York. Like I'm gonna treat you like a king.
At some point we will come to New York. The littlest one always like her dream already is to like come to New York. Like if she sees like a tall building, she's like, it's New York, and we're like, no, it's fucking like Cleveland. Like it's not even close to New York. Like sorry, but yeah,
like kings. I used to be a tour guide. Did I ever tell you that?
Really? No.
Yes, I used to be a tour guide. I used to work on the New York. I told you New York Water Taxi when we did the interview for the Spotlight, and I used to do the tour guides on the boat used to always love me, and they thought I was like very funny, so they would like let me do like some of the tours like halfway. Like if they picked me up at like the first stop, if I was like ending my shift, they would let me jump on the mic and do some of the tour because I was studying to be a tour guide.
Nice. Well, when we do visit, I look forward to the tour that you give us. I don't know when we're going to visit New York, but at some point we will definitely visit New York. And Joel Pearl sucks. He's awful. Like just everyone sucks, honestly.
I love how Joe Pearl, he buried you as well. We're pulling back the curtain on everybody.
When did Joe Pearl bury me?
I hope Joe Pearl showed up early, or he could go back and watch this work. But he buried you because I was asking him yesterday when True Rewind was going to drop on Fightful Overbooked, and he was like, "Oh, that damn Jeremy had to drop some No Mercy stuff on the channel, so I had to push it back to later today." And I was like, "Oh, that's fine." I was like, "That damn Jeremy." He's like, yeah, I know exactly.
I posted that No Mercy video at like 5 because we had nothing on the channel up until then. So there was nothing scheduled. No, fuck Joel Pearl. Where's he at? I'm going to kick him completely off the channel. I don't know if McCarthy's going to join us. He's just sending me gifts right now, but we'll see.
We are burying everybody. This is Friday morning burial. Yes,
it really is. Oh man, Joel Pearl, get him out of here. He's not. Well, you know what, Joel? I'm gonna just True Heel Rewind can stay on the channel. Everything that Joel Pearl does is no longer on Fightful Overbooked. Okay, we have no more Joel Pearl on Overbooked. That's where I'm at.
And yes, Power Driver Finisher. I do use the term burial too loosely. I will, because we're about to bury James Harden for his poor performance in this series with the. I mean, we all expected this. I think we got a little too happy when he had that big performance in Game 4.
Oh, I didn't. I knew that was an anomaly. I texted my friend and I was just like, this is not the norm for James Harden. Like, cool, he had a big game. Like, that's great. Don't expect this next game. SP3, you and I had the same amount of points as James Harden did in the second half yesterday. You and I had the same amount of points. And we didn't kill. There's Alex McCarthy. Look at this asshole.
There it is.
Happy belated birthday, buddy. As
Happy
I call
birthday.
You an asshole. Why won't you go say hi to SP3 so he can punch you in the face for me?
He ain't got the balls for that. Nor have you, Jeremy, you pussy.
I will if I can go over there. I don't have UK travel money. You kidding me? Sean Ross Sapp don't pay me nothing.
Listen, I've seen you at shows. I've seen you at shows throwing your weight around, Jeremy. I've seen it.
I was telling him that I'm 2 hours away from London, and you and Sat want me to take a 2-hour train ride to London, or an hour and 45-minute train ride, and I'm like, that's the amount of time that it took me to go from the Bronx to Brooklyn to see you when you were in New York. Not the same energy. I'm not feeling the same energy.
Wait, you know I don't live in London, right?
I know. I looked up where you live.
Okay, so it's not just that I'm going to London to your house, brother. It's not doorstep service. I was working. What were you doing? I'm a busy man. I'm trying to eat my fucking wings. I've got Jeremy calling me out on my lunchtime. I'm a busy man. And I'm getting sent links and shit to come here and be harassed about a train journey. What is this?
What kind of wings are you eating?
Yeah, Nando's, actually. That Sasha Banks buried heavily.
I was about to say, I heard that shit sucks. That's what Sasha Banks told me.
Well, she's probably right, but my British taste buds know no better.
I was gonna go there too when I went to see Doctor Strange the other day. I was like, oh, this Nando's. Alex always tells me about it.
Hey, I don't always tell it about it.
I feel like that's just like a thing over there, right? Like you got to go to Nando's and get it. I mean, I have no idea what it tastes like. I've never.
Robbie Fox liked it, whatever that's worth from American mouth.
Oh, okay, I like Robbie. I don't know if he has taste when it comes to food, but I don't know if I trust him when it comes to that. I'll trust Sasha Banks over Robbie Fox.
Probably wise. SB3, how long till you go home?
I was just telling Jeremy before we went live here. I'm probably gonna be here till like the beginning of June now.
Shit,
the prices to go back. My wife didn't book the trip to go back yet, and the prices to go back are preposterous right now. It was so cheap to get here, and now it's just crazy right now. So I might stay a little longer. We got a place here now, so we can stay as long as I want.
It's the power of the pound sterling, SB3. The power of this economy, which is fucking dog shit right now. But
hey, he's better than us.
Well,
you got.
Well, electricity costs like whatever. Anyway, all right, let's work it out then. Is this it? I have to come to you. Is this what we've been established?
No. I did figure out that when I think it was Sad, he suggested Liverpool Street. That's a little bit more workable. My wifey said that you just have to take the bus to Colchester, then go around to the train station, and then it's one train.
That sounds very workable. The bus to around the circle to one train.
I wouldn't do all that for you. Like, come on.
You see this, man?
I told you. How long have I been telling you, SB3? I've been telling everybody for years. Alex McCarthy's the worst.
I took a hour and a half on the train to get to the Bronx to Brooklyn. Yes, I was doing the same work that he was interviewing talent. But I took the train back so late. Late that night, I showed you and your dear friends from over in the UK. I showed you Juniors, the power of Juniors. I didn't make you walk across the Brooklyn Bridge like Diddy did, the band.
I mean, I still feel like you're getting a bad deal with Liverpool Street. That Shoreditch is great, by the way. Like, there's so much for us to do there. But yeah, you are coming to London, basically. You're wearing, yeah.
Why don't you go see him, Alex? What are we doing here?
Where are you? Like Surrey, Suffolk? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in Suffolk.
What's there to do in Suffolk?
There's nothing. That's why I said at least Colchester. I was like, I know
that's like Ipswich, like Norwich, just Norfolk, Suffolk. There's nothing there, man.
There really isn't. I like how the buildings look, the houses look, but there's nothing here. That's why I said Colchester. At least Colchester, there's some stuff to do.
I would come to Colchester if Zach can agree that.
Okay. So we got two of the three Daily Boys. So we got it on air, ladies and gentlemen. So we need to clip this and we need to tag Sat, put Sat's ass on the fire and be like, oh man, you won't go to Colchester for SB3? He's only here for a little while. Guilt him.
Listen, yeah, bring it in. I'm down. We have to make it happen before you go back for sure. I'm down.
And you gotta punch Alex in the face, SB3. Don't be a coward.
No, this is
He don't want it.
This is the Tommy to my ghost. I showered him with love on his birthday, but I shower him with love anytime I see him.
Yeah, Jeremy's like Tariq before he got his own spin-off. That's what you're a little.
I don't get the reference.
He doesn't know. That's what makes it great. No. You know what? Since Jeremy does know this person, because we got him back on Entourage, he can be Proctor. Proctor is basically what Turtle became after Entourage.
I like Proctor though.
I don't.
No, Tommy doesn't though.
No, as well.
Get the reference.
Proctor's Turtle, right?
The actor that played Jeremy Ferreira plays Proctor. He plays Proctor in Power.
He does, yeah. And he's great to his kids. I can't not like him, to be fair. He does try and fuck his wife about, though. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of parallels that I'm not linking up here. But either way, fuck Jeremy. That's the memo. All right?
I can't even argue. I mean, I talk shit about you all the time, so it's like if you're gonna say it back, I can't say anything. But I do want SP3 to punch you. He's too nice to you. He's way too nice to you. Way too many people are too nice to you, Alex. Sliding in my DMs like, got a Drew McIntyre interview. Fuck these Drew McIntyre interviews. I ran 2 stories off of that.
I don't do that. He's chatting rubbish. I send him the quotes. I don't go, look what I've got, Jeremy, please.
The funniest.
And if I don't send him the quotes, by the way, then he's like, oh, fuck, have I got to transcribe another interview? I send him the quotes. I don't do that for anyone else. That's the shoot. I don't send the quotes to anyone else but Jeremy, and he's still a prick. What can I do?
The funniest thing about this, you sent me quotes for Thunder Rosa. And I had food poisoning, so I didn't run it right away. And I was apologetic that the DMs will show that I was apologetic for not running it right away. But I also saw you promoting the Jrue interview, and like literally as I'm typing, "Don't send me these fucking Jrue quotes. I'm not running it." You sent me the Jrue quotes
and long quotes as well.
Yes,
not little bits.
Yeah. And then I still ran 2 stories off of that damn interview. So. I love you, Alex. I hate you, but I love you.
Yeah, what are we? We like Rock and Sock when they back in the day. That's what we are.
That's fair. That's good. I'll take that.
Whatever tag team hated each other. Yes,
I got that vibes from Hookhausen, and just purely off Rock and Sock vibes. I like it. I've decided I like it.
We're not doing wrestling talk. I kind of brought up the wrestling talk.
You did.
This is not the wrestling talk show.
You did.
Alex, have you been watching?
Yeah, I was about to answer that.
Yeah, the NBA playoffs. You've been watching the NBA playoffs, Alex?
Oh, I'm back. Hey, man. Jimmy Butler's going to come through, and James Harden's not. There you go. That's my playoffs.
That's already been proven that James Harden's not. We just said it before you came on, Alex. You had the same amount of points as James Harden did in the second half of Game 6 last night. You did great. Great job, Alex. You were pacing James Harden scoring.
Isn't it crazy, though, how, they talk about it sometimes, how people become different animals in playoffs, right? Where James Harden becomes the shrink of what James Harden is. But Jimmy Butler's like, come on, bring it. that boy don't miss. I've only been obviously catching up with the games because of the time difference, and because the Lakers aren't in it, I'm not sitting there watching it and shit. But
what happened with them?
I'll keep up. Who do you think's our next? Who's our next coach?
Doc Rivers.
No, God, please no, please no. What do you guys think about Phil Jackson helping out with the coach search and that report from
gone, did he?
Yes, that report from Bill Plaschke that he rather trade LeBron than
that report was so stupid because I have no information on this, but I heard it's like what. Which one is it? Do you have no information or you've heard this?
You got to understand, Bill Plaschke has hated Phil Jackson for years. Oh,
I remember him when he was on Around the Horn.
Exactly.
In the early days, always talking shit on Bill.
Exactly. That's why when I heard it was Bill Plaschke, I was like, I don't believe this crap. Like Bill Plaschke hates Phil Jackson. He hates him with the passion.
Bill Plaschke ain't got no inside information. Come on now. He's got no information.
You can't trade LeBron. Fuck. I mean, you could.
So here's a question. Here's a question for you guys. Would you rather have Russell Westbrook or James Harden on your team? You're paying them equal $5 million or 5 years for $270 million or whatever they're getting. You got them the full contract. I know Russ's contract is actually about to end while Philly's probably going to be stupid and pay it. Well, would you rather have Harden or Westbrook? Because they're similar ilk, just they go about it in different ways.
For how long? Because we got Westbrook for another year, right? So
no, I'm saying like you're gonna pay one of them. You get them for like at their age right now, they're both like 32, 33. You're paying them that max $5 million money. Nobody's actually gonna pay Westbrook this on his next contract. Philly is 100% about to pay James Harden $270 for over 5 years.
Shit. I do you know what? Before this season, I think I would have said Westbrook. Like, before I just watched the severe lack of chemistry unfold, I think I would have said Westbrook just because he has the facilitation as well. Like, and I didn't think we needed his shooting that much. But Jesus Christ, as much as a big fan of Russ as I was in his OKC days and stuff, like, oh man, like. The fit just isn't there. Probably not helped that he's surrounded by pensioners. Like we need to rebuild bad in and around the summer, but I just don't know where the wiggle room's going to come from. Probably just Harden off the back of what I've just seen. I probably would go with him, but again, he's not a proven good fit either with anyone basically. So Christ, it's a shit question.
SP3.
I'm gonna have to agree with Alex. Like Russ just doesn't work with the Lakers. Like it just was a round peg in a square hole.
I wanted him to as well with the homecoming. I wanted it to work.
I did too.
Yeah, like Harden. At least Harden has the shooting that we really need. Well,
if he shoots,
if he shoots, and if he shoots on time and doesn't dribble the ball for 23 seconds, I don't know, but I mean you're asking me to pick between chicken shit and shit itself. So I mean, I'll probably take.
Jeremy, how romantically do you look back at that OKC period?
Oh, the Westbrook OKC. I'm always gonna have a soft spot because of everything.
You had Harden, Durant, all in the same. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, fuck Kevin Durant. Fuck him. I honestly fuck James Harden too. Like he wanted out. He wanted to get paid. He wanted to get traded. Like we could have built something off of those three. Westbrook was the guy who stayed, and like it ended the way it ended. But we ended up getting Chris Paul and draft picks, and then we flipped Chris Paul for more draft picks and stuff. So overall, it worked. With Westbrook, so the Harden Westbrook thing is, as I was saying, they're similar. They just go about it in different ways. In that, like Russ is going to go out there, and you don't have to worry about him not being aggressive in these moments, but that aggressive is like a detriment to the team is the issue. Harden, you have to worry about him just disappearing, and that is also a detriment to the team. So at least Russ will compete. That's one thing I will say about Russ. He will go out there, he will compete, he will give it his all. Harden, as we saw last night, will just kind of stand around and do absolutely nothing. And I don't know which one is worse, if you would just rather have a guy that won't do anything, so like hurt the team that way, or is trying to do too much and hurt the team that way.
I think
it's not great either.
For like a Lakers specific question, I think Sid probably got it right. You know, if Harden can get the looks off LeBron, I don't know.
You would think, but then LeBron's going to hit him for wide open shots, and Harden's going to pump fake and then, you know, do in and out dribbles for 15 seconds before taking a step back. Yeah. Or just pass it up, or just not shoot it at all. And, you know, that's not great either. Russ is just going to pump fake and then jab step a couple of times and then, you know, try to drive and shoot a mid-range.
Like
either way, it's not ending well. It's not ending well either way, okay? Like, it's just not.
Well established. Anyway, can I go eat lunch? Fuck.
Yes, you can go eat lunch, Alex. Thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it.
Love you, Alex.
Yeah,
not
thank
really.
you. Hey, SB3, hit me and let's arrange the date.
Yes, hit him, please.
Yeah.
Just punch him right in the face.
All right. Love you guys.
Bye, Alex.
Love you,
buddy. Thank you.
Peace.
What a great guy Alex McCarthy is. Fuck Alex McCarthy, but what a great guy he is.
This is FMC has become the place for recurring characters who just run in for a few minutes and then run out.
Oh, this is the best show I do every week. Apologies to all the other shows that I actually do, which I love. I love every show that I do, but like just sitting around bullshitting with you, just linking people to this, like, hey, come in and let's talk about everything that we actually like and, you know, isn't part of our job is the absolute best. And we can just bullshit and just be ourselves and not have to, you know, try to speak politically correct so we don't get in trouble with any PR places. They ain't watching this shit. They ain't watching this. They don't care about this show.
That's how I feel on True Hill Heat. I was like, I have a disclaimer for some of the people on True Hill Heat who are a little bit too out there with their language and the things they say about people, but but I just feel like, hey, if they see it, they see it. I didn't say anything as long as they saw it. But yes, as far as the NBA, besides Harden, falling asleep, let's give it up for my man Giannis.
Hold on. I do want to talk about Giannis. We got to talk about Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, this man in the press conference, when asked about job security, literally said, no one picked us to be here. No one expected anything when I got here. They fired Brett Brown, who could only get them into the second round with Embiid and Butler. Or sorry, they didn't have Butler at the time. With Embiid and Simmons. They fired Brett Brown and they brought in Doc to get them over the second round hump. Yes. And then last season, they at least got to game 7 in the second round. They threw Ben Simmons under the bus. They completely killed his confidence. Then all the weird stuff happened with him. But they threw him under the bus, which pretty much ruined the relationship there. They brought in James Harden because they thought, well, James Harden, Harden and Embiid, this is going to be a 1-2. This is the Kobe and Shaq of 2020. Here we go. And then Harden just decided, okay, well, I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to do anything. And then they got to game 6 and still lost. I understand Embiid was hurt. I get that. Like Joel Embiid, that dude's a warrior. I haven't loved his play style, especially since James Harden came along where he's looking for calls and all this stuff. But the man goes out there. He's willing to play. He's willing to risk it. Credit to Joel Embiid. Still not the real MVP.
MVP. Don't worry. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. We're one loss away from the Suns.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that presentation next week.
Jeremy has to do the presentation. Yes, next week. I'm calling it.
Yeah. I resigned myself to knowing I'm gonna have to do it next week. But Embiid's a warrior. He tries to play through it. Doc Rivers says nobody picked us to do it. Nobody expected it. They brought you in to get them over this point, Doc. What do you mean you had no expectations? You're not brought in. You weren't brought into a rebuilding team. Like you were brought in because they had expectations. Doc Rivers is gonna blame everybody but himself. He ain't gonna take blame for any of this shit. He's gonna blame Ben Simmons. He's gonna blame James Harden. He won't blame Embiid. But he's gonna blame injuries. He's gonna blame the front office. He's blaming everybody but himself. This man living off of that one championship, which I'm putting more credit to the players and Tom Thibodeau at this point. Yeah, Tom Thibodeau, the assistant coach, who really hasn't proven anything as an NBA head coach either, deserves more credit than Doc Rivers for that Celtics championship. Okay?
I give more credit to Paul Pierce having to use the bathroom in game 1. I still stand by that. That changed the whole entire series. Is Paul Pierce faking an injury to go use the bathroom?
Fair. Doc Rivers is the absolute worst with his blame game that he wants to do. I don't know if he gets fired. I feel like management kind of likes him because they brought him in. He got like a 5-year deal, and this is year 2. He does have injury excuse. Like if Embiid is healthy and plays the full series, is it a different series? It's probably different. I don't know if they win it, but look, it was a 2-2 series, so they had their chance when Embiid came back. And then they got blown out in the last 2 games. If Embiid's healthy, it's probably a different series. But James Harden even was trying to blame Doc Rivers of, we ran our offense, the ball didn't come back to me. It's like, dude, you're James Harden. Just do your stupid isolation stuff. Like I'm pretty sure you're allowed to kind of do what you want and freelance a little. Okay. Like I love Stephen A. Smith's theory. I don't know if you saw this one, but his theory was that James Harden was like actively tanking to get Doc fired. So they bring in Mike D'Antoni. I love that theory. That's so good. I hope it happens. Reunite Harden, Morey, and D'Antoni in Philly. Run back the Houston team that was at least made the conference finals a few years ago, but now they're all older and Harden's completely washed. Run that team back. Sure. Why not?
Why not? Why not? I mean, yeah, I feel like the Sixers over the last 2 seasons, it's been a case of everybody doing the Spider-Man meme and
Oh,
pointing to
100%. Yes.
the next person. And it's just like, don't y'all realize it's all of y'all faults? Like, y'all should point the finger at yourselves first instead of pointing it at someone else. And yeah, it's just a series of the blame game, and it's gonna happen every single season until they really change this team. Like, they need to stop. They need to just realize Joel Embiid is your best player. You build around him. And yes, you thought Harden was a solution to Ben Simmons, but he really wasn't. You got
Harden's
Tyrese.
never a solution.
No,
James Harden's never a solution.
he's proven that now twice. He proved that in Brooklyn. He's proved it here. It just is not working. So you need to build around Embiid. You got Tyrese Maxey. You keep him around. I don't know what you do with Thibault. That's besides the point. Tobias Harris is getting paid way too much for a guy that disappears so much.
They're going to look to trade him. They're going to look to trade Harris. I think they're going to give James Harden that money. Like, I think they're going to sign Harden to an extension. You know, he's going to walk into that meeting fresh off a club appearance and still got glitter on him and everything. And he's going to be like, I'm serious about getting in shape. I'm going to make it work. Everything's going to be good. It's all, and they'll be like, all right, James, we trust you. And they're going to give him that money. I wouldn't do it, but Daryl Morey loves James Harden, and he's definitely going to do it. They're going to give him that money. Harden's going to say all the right things about wanting to improve and wanting to make it work with Embiid and wanting to, learn the offense and everything. But I wouldn't do it. They're going to trade Harris. They got to find something around like the margins and stuff, because I don't think they got a lot of cap room, everything to work with, especially after they pay Harden. It's not a great team like around Embiid, especially if Harden you're going to get this version of James Harden. And it's not a great coach if Doc Rivers is your coach, because that man doesn't really understand what he played. DeAndre Jordan. What are we doing playing DeAndre Jordan as much as he was? Doc Rivers just doesn't really know what he's doing when it comes to a lot of this stuff. So we shall see with the Sixers. It's tough times for our friend Joseph Holbert, trying to be a Sixers fan out in these streets. Just tough.
We'll get Joe on here so he could talk about his poor team soon. But yes, let's talk about Giannis.
Yes.
Showing why he is the best player in the world. We each had our opinions on the MVP, but that's the most valuable player for that regular season. The best player in the world is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I always try my best to pronounce that as best as I can. But Giannis, like we said at the beginning of this series, this is really going to elevate his legacy. And him in Game 5, I feel like it not only elevated his legacy, but Jrue Holiday does not get enough credit for how much he has changed this team. He has really been the difference maker. He was the difference maker between the team that lost in the bubble and the team that won the championship last year. And then that game 5, man, those two plays, especially the play on Marcus Smart, where he blocks his shot and then throws the ball out of him. That's one of the best defensive plays of the year.
Oh, 100%. I've always been a fan of Jrue Holiday. When people are like, oh, Bledsoe for Holiday, it's a similar trade. Like, absolutely not. Like, you've not watched these two guys play if you think these are similar players. Like, it goes way beyond the stat lines that they're going to put up. I have gripes with Jrue Holiday, especially offensively. I think sometimes he looks confused, or he's trying to do too much. It's weird. He's good as a third guy. Like, he's good as a third guy. With Middleton being hurt, he has to get elevated to a second guy. And if Jrue Holiday's your second guy, like, that's still a good player to have, but it's going to be tougher to win a championship with Jrue Holiday as your second guy. But at the end of the day, this man just makes winning plays. And you cannot teach intangibles of winning plays. He hit a big three to tie the game, and then he comes back with 2 back-to-back defensive plays. The block was incredible, because I think it was Pat Connaughton kind of got beat on the inbound. He blew up the original inbound play, which was a credit to him. But then Smart got a little bit of separation. Connaughton made it tough. Like, Smart's going for like a little baseline mid-range. Like, you'll kind of give Marcus Smart that shot. But Holiday, the awareness to not only slide over, to not only block the shot, not only just like block it, but take the ball and then have the awareness to land in bounds and throw it off smart, and then the strip at the end, so they didn't even get a last-second shot off. Jrue Holiday is just going to make winning plays for you. Even the game that they won, game 4, I guess it was, or game 3, where he was one-on-one against Tatum, and it's like, look, I don't like Jrue Holiday ISOing against Jason Tatum, and he lost the ball. But then the ball, he just somehow got it back and flipped it up a little bunny, and it went in. Like, winning players, winning teams, the ball just somehow finds them. Like, another example, Giannis misses the second free throw. Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart both go for the rebound. Right between them both, right to Bobby Portis.
Another one.
Like, winning teams, the ball just somehow finds them, and they just make these plays. And the Bucks, after last year, they are getting these plays made. And it's a credit to them. I love Jrue Holiday. He has definitely changed the Bucks and everything they can do. But Giannis, man, going into this series, I had a tough time picking the Bucks because of what we saw from the Celtics in the first round, what they did to Kevin Durant. But I think I said it on this show. I know I said it to my buddy Sammer. Like, Giannis is different than Kevin Durant in that he don't give a fuck. He will deal with this physicality. He is not going to shy away from wanting the ball. He's not going to be forced into these mid-range stuff. He will put his head down, and if you are going to rough him up a little bit, he's going to put his head down and rough you up right back. And that's what he has done in this series. If you're going to hit him in the mouth, he's going to come back and he's going to hit you in the mouth. And that's what separates him from – that's why he's the best player in the world right now, because he does not give a fuck. And he's going to get his numbers, sometimes not efficient, but when he does do it efficiently, those are the games that they're going to win. And this is why he's the best player in the world. And the fact that they are up 3-2 in this series, when most people picked Boston after the first round and with the Middleton injury.
Not this guy. Not this guy.
Like, Giannis is different.
My anti-Celtic heart said it. It said it over my head. I was like, I'm not going with everybody's majority pick. I am a Laker fan, so I can never, in my self-conscious mind and heart, pick the Celtics. But I also believe in Giannis. The biggest thing for like my Lakers, whenever we created like a dynasty or had back-to-back champions, the three-peats, it was the role players. The role players had to come up clutch, whether it's in 2001 with the shot by Robert Horry against the Kings, or in 2002, Robert Horry hit a big shot against Portland in the first round. There was a whole bunch of other plays along the way that helped us along, especially in like the King series. And so, yeah, it was the role players like Derek Fisher when we got back to the finals in 2004 with the Warriors. You know, Andre Iguodala, who was a role player on those Warriors team, he won the NBA Finals MVP, just showing you how important role players can be. And I think in this series, you are seeing that the Bucks have those role players, like you said, that make the winning plays, that make the plays at the right time. Whether it was Jrue Holiday with the defensive plays, whether it was Bobby Portis with the tipping, these role players are coming through, and it making me really believe that the Bucks are going back to the NBA Finals, that we might either get a rematch or we might get the Bucks trying to get a two-peat against the last dynasty in this league, in the Warriors. I don't know. I know a lot of people are writing off the Warriors after they got demolished.
That was an embarrassing performance. That was James Harden-esque performance from the entire Warriors team.
They got completely demolished. They were up by like 55 at one point. Oh my God.
With being up 3-1, and then I know they're in Memphis. Ja's out, and they played very well. Memphis has played very well without Ja all season. But like the Warriors, they're a veteran team. They know what it takes to just close out these games, and Memphis apparently just doesn't know any better on how to lose. Like, it's fine if it's a close game and you happen to lose, given the circumstances, Memphis being elevated, wanting to play hard with Ja out. Their defense is better without Ja, but finding scoring without Ja is a little bit more difficult. But to just not show up was pretty embarrassing for the Warriors. I still think they close it out tonight, but not a good effort from the Warriors in Game 5.
I agree. I think the Warriors close it out in game 6, and they have to, because you don't want to go back to Memphis after that performance in game 5. You don't want to do that, hearing that whoop that trick.
You don't want to. You don't want the 3-1 ghost out there either. Like you definitely don't want that.
Yes, the 3-1 ghost of bad NBA Finals past coming back to haunt you in this one, especially against a Giannis Grizzlies. It's like that would be just quite embarrassing. So I think they're gonna fish it out in 6. Do you think Bucks and Celtics are going 7?
I kind of think that it feels like a 7-game series. I mean, I hate doubting Giannis. Like, before game 5, I actually picked the Bucks to win game 5, and largely because like I just wasn't going to doubt Giannis because they were playing very well in game 4, and then the fourth quarter they just kind of fell apart. Like that was a winnable game for Milwaukee, and then the fourth quarter their defense fell apart. Credit to Boston, they took advantage of what Milwaukee was giving them. Milwaukee changed things up, went to switching in game 5, and that allowed them to make their comeback. I have a very tough time doubting Giannis. This just feels like a 7-game series. I hope it goes 7, but I'm also rooting for Giannis. What a likable guy that guy is.
Man, Giannis, yeah, he just has it in him. And I was actually watching, I think Secret Base did the collapse video, I think like 2 weeks ago or last week, of the Bucks, talking about how the Bucks went to the NBA Finals in 2001, and then their collapse ever since then that led to Ray Allen leaving, the original Big Three. That was the first time I really heard of the Big Three in my generation, like because you had the Celtics Big Three of the 80s, but in my generation of watching the NBA, the original Big Three that I always heard about was Ray Allen, Sam Cassell, and Glenn Robinson, and they completely demolished that team. And then out of that collapse came them getting this random draft pick of Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that has led to now what seems like a team that's going to go to back-to-back NBA Finals. So I give them so much credit. I'm not going to go against Giannis, so I'm going to say they finish it up in 6. I think that they are on their home court tonight, so they get the job done. What do you think, though? We do have a game 7 to talk about. I saved this one for last.
I know.
I saved this one for last because we gotta talk about your point guard, because all he does is choke no matter what.
Chris Paul turned 37 and all of a sudden forgot how to play basketball. I don't know what happened. This man is a legend at 36, putting up great numbers, going 14 for 14, not missing, just running through the playoffs. And he turns 37, and I don't know what happened to this man. I'm afraid of turning 37 now. Like, 37 is apparently just a death knell for everybody, because Chris Paul, on his birthday was May 6th. All right. Do you know Chris Paul's numbers since May 6th? Hold on. I'm about to pull them up because he turned 37 May 6th, which was like game 3, I think, which is when they started not looking so hot. So here we go. May 6th, on his birthday, this man had 12 points on 5 of 9 shooting, 4 assists, 7 turnovers. 4 assists to 7 turnovers for Chris Paul. That's not Chris Paul numbers.
One of the greatest point guards of all time, according to Jeremy. And
he is, according to a lot of people, not just me.
I know, I said it last week, but
May 8th, 5 points, 7 assists, 2 turnovers. At least the turnover assist ratio was better, but 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting. It wasn't even shooting the ball. This is James Harden afraid to shoot nonsense. May 10th, 7 points on 3 of 8 shooting, 10 assists, 4 turnovers. And then last night, May 12th, 13 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 4 assists, 5 turnovers. What are we doing, Chris Paul? What has happened? What has happened since he turned 37? 1-3 since he turned 37. I'm bad at math, so I'm not even going to try to do the averages. Averaging like 9 points and then 6 assists and 5 turnovers. Somebody who actually does math will figure that out better than I do.
Wait,
Just
what was the point totals
awful.
again? You had 5 points.
Oh, I don't
12
know if
points.
that's correct. Oh, okay. The point total was. Shoot, let me pull it back up. So we had. Geez. All right. There we go. He had 12 points, 5 points, 7 points, 13 points. Somebody at math figure that shit out.
34. So he's averaged, man, that's pathetic. That's pathetic, ladies and gentlemen. He's averaging 8 points. 8 points since turning 37 years old. And this is embarrassing for me because I always say people born in May are destined for greatness. You've seen 2 of them. You've seen Alice McCarthy today. You've seen me today. We are destined for greatness. The Rock is in May.
Right, here's his numbers. I have B-ball reference, which is actually a very useful website. 9.3 points, so not quite 8. 9.3 points, 6.3 assists, 4.5 turnovers on 50% shooting from the field. I mean, 53% from 3. His shooting numbers are bad. He's just not shooting enough. 7 attempts per game. Like, doesn't seem like a lot for Chris Paul. But 9.3 points, the assist to turnovers is bad. 6.3 assists to 4.5 turnovers. Chris Paul turning the ball over nearly 5 times a game. That's not Chris Paul.
Hey, he did want to lead his teammates to the tunnel of the Mavericks to fight.
That was not a real tweet.
He can lead his team to anywhere but a championship.
Not a real thing. It was not real.
No, he was right. I was on his side with what happened to his family in Dallas. I didn't think that was right at all. That wasn't right at all. And Billy with Auntie May and that was just, I was like, man, y'all making me side with Chris Paul. How dare you? How dare you? But yeah, he's played bad. He's just playing bad. 9 points since turning 37 years old. The Suns have not looked good. I think they're still gonna win this series. I think they're going to make the conference finals, but they ain't sweeping the Grizzlies or the Warriors. So we know that Jeremy, even though he tried to sucker me in into elevating the losses, because it would have been already time for the PowerPoint presentation based on our original bet, but he suckered me into giving him one more loss, and it's going to happen. I don't know. I'm not going to count Luka out, but nothing I've seen for the Mavericks makes me think that they're going to beat them in this series.
This series hasn't even been, I mean, the home team has won every game, but like this series hasn't even been like competitive basketball. All the games have been blowouts. Like, I'm pretty sure every single game has been like a double-digit victory. Like, it's going 7. That's cool. I love game 7s. Like, I have a semi-rooting interest because I would like for Chris Paul to get like a great moment with his ring and everything. But really, I like Luka as well. And the Luka chatter, like, it started very early for Giannis of like, oh, he hasn't won a ring. Like, what did they get? He's going to leave. They're going to get him out of there. And like, Luka's going to start experiencing that pretty soon. And even though he's only in like his 3rd or 4th season, he's going to get he hasn't won a ring. He's going to leave, even though Dallas is a big market. But he's going to leave. He's going to go elsewhere. He's going to always tied to like the Lakers or some shit. But like, just give me like competitive games. And these games just haven't even been like fun to watch. Like, the first half has been like good in some of them, but like the second half has just been blowouts. If you're going to go 7, which is great, at least give me like a memorable game. None of these games have been memorable. And that's been the most disappointing thing. I hope game 7 is like at least good. Honestly, I've resigned myself to the PowerPoint presentation at this point. So, because the Suns aren't sweeping the Western Conference Finals if they make it far. Just give me a good game. Like, I don't care who wins. Just give me a game that is close in the 4th quarter. Just give me a good game 7. Don't give me this, double-digit blowout nonsense.
I mean, I'm hoping that it's a competitive game because we've had to deal with one team just overpowering the other this whole entire series. And I think these 2 teams are pretty well matched. I won't say evenly matched because I feel like the Suns are definitely the better team. if Chris Paul can play like Chris Paul, which he hasn't for more than half of this series. So I'm not going to count Luka out. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think that the Suns are going to win out. But man, it seemed like Jeremy was so confident, ladies and gentlemen. At the
I don't know
start
what's
of these
happened
playoffs.
to them. Like it's so weird. They look great all regular season. They went through the regular season and just steamrolled teams. And then we get into the playoffs and the first round. All right, I'll blame the Booker injury on the 2 losses. Like there's at least a reason for that. This series though, I don't know what the excuse is. Like, and it's not even. Again, they just look kind of lifeless in games. And that's the worst part is like, okay, if you're playing close competitive games, maybe you're coming up short. Like it happens. You're facing a good team. You're facing maybe the second best player in the league, honestly. Like it's a tough out, but to play the way they're playing with like no energy, no life, just looking confused out there. It's so weird to just the way this team is just fall. And you can make your Chris Paul jokes. I get it, but this team went to the finals last year. Like this team did go to the finals last year. It's not like this is Chris Paul who it's like, here we go. Chris Paul can't get out of the second round. What's he doing out there? This is a team, really almost the exact same team that was in the finals last year and had a 2-0 lead and then looked great in the regular season. Chris Paul teams outside of the Houston years had not looked this good in the regular season. And in Houston, they at least went to the conference finals and they were right there until the Chris Paul injury. Like it's so weird. It is so weird, this team. I don't get it. All I can blame is 37. That's all I can blame. Chris Paul turns 37 and all of a sudden he just forgets how to play basketball. Cliff Paul is apparently the person playing for Chris at 37. I don't get it.
Choke Paul, CP3, choke Paul 3. Man, I can't wait for them to verse either. Well, I think they're gonna verse the Warriors. I think the Warriors will wrap up the Grizzlies. The Warriors versus the Suns should be very interesting. I'm not gonna give. Well, we should pretty much say our prediction now because the series might start before next Friday's show.
It will. It 100% will.
So I'm saying Warriors in 6. Warriors in 6 over the Suns in the West, and I'm going Bucks versus Heat in the East, and I'm gonna go Bucks in 7. I think that's gonna be the 7-game series over on the East.
Money Mark makes a good point. They refuse to play through 8. It is true. That was everyone, like that was what people were saying going into the series is like, Gobert, couldn't really punish the small Dallas lineup. Ayton's different. Like Ayton has a mid-range shot. He can finish around the rim. And Chris Paul will get him the ball and put him in good situations. And in their wins, they've kind of done that, but for some reason in their other games, they just don't do it. It's so weird. Monty Williams is the coach of the year, and he's getting out coached by Jason Kidd. And look, Jason Kidd, I'll give Jason Kidd a lot of credit because when he was in Milwaukee, that flamed out. Brooklyn, he didn't do well there. Milwaukee, everyone blamed him for with what happened with Giannis, even though Giannis liked him. Jason Kidd, instead of future Lakers head coach Mark Jackson, instead of going to the broadcast booth, I'm throwing shots at the Lakers. And
no, you should, because I always said when we picked Frank Vogel and made Jason Kidd an assistant coach, I was like, okay, maybe they're just doing this for a year. And then they're gonna fire Frank Vogel if we don't win the championship in 2020, and then Jason Kidd can become the head coach. But because Frank Vogel won the bubble championship, they kept him in that seat, and it led to Jason Kidd leaving for another head coaching job. Because I always said I wanted Jason Kidd as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. So I agree. The Lakers deserve to be buried here because Jason Kidd is proving he is a better head coach than Frank Vogel. I gave Jason Kidd credit for our defense because he's a very good defensive coach, in my opinion.
Here's the thing. I don't know if Jason Kidd is a better head coach than Frank Vogel. I am putting the struggles of the Lakers this year on Frank Vogel. That team was just an absolute mess. I don't know if Jason Kidd would have done a better job with that team. What I will credit Jason Kidd for, though, is instead of going to the broadcast booth or taking years off or whatever, or, searching for another head coaching, like low-level job, I'm sure he could have coached one of these the Knicks or somebody who just loves to make like splashy hires and stuff. He's like, you know what? Let me be an assistant coach. Let me learn a little bit. Let me try to just better my skill set on the bench as an assistant. He goes to the Lakers. Frank Vogel, they win a title. Frank Vogel's always been a very good coach. He's seeing LeBron every day. He's seeing Anthony Davis every day. He's coming up with schemes for two of the best players in the world. He got more he built up his resume through that. He built up his skill set through that. And when the Mavericks hired him, people laughed. People were like, oh, Jason Kidd, we saw what he did in Milwaukee. But they didn't give him enough credit for just going to Los Angeles, being willing to learn, and actually realizing that, like, oh, Jason Kidd, like, may have improved here. And I understand it. I probably made jokes as well, like, oh, this should work great, like Jason Kidd. But he learned, he built up his skill set, he got better, and then he's done very well with Dallas, way better than anybody could have expected at this point. So credit to Jason Kidd for that. He's turned into a good coach who, look, he's got his team, whether they win game 7 or not, whether, the series hasn't been competitive game-wise, but he's got his team to game 7 against the top seed in the West and the best team in the league this season. With a team, by the way, the Mavericks, Luka aside, nobody looks at that Mavericks roster and is like, this is a good team. Like, nobody's looking at this team and be like, hey, Dallas, my friend was like, you take Luka off this team, this is the worst roster in the league. And I mean, they still beat Utah because Utah's a mess. But my friend is like, you take Luka off this team is competing for a top 5 pick because they just are not that good. And he's got them this far. So credit to Jason Kidd for being willing to humbling himself in the coaching world and taking the Lakers job as an assistant and bettering himself on that.
That helped him become a better overall coach. Like, yeah. I shouldn't downplay Frank Vogel. He's a great defensive coach, but he's not a great overall coach. And I feel like Jason Kidd working with Frank Vogel helped him on the defensive end and has helped him become a more well-rounded coach. And I feel like, as fans and analysts, they focus too much on the Jazz choking. And I feel like Jason Kidd didn't get enough credit for going 2-1 against the Jazz without Luka. Without Luka, he got halfway to beating the Jazz completely. They could have been up 3-0, honestly, when you look back on those, like, 1 or 2 plays in that game that the Jazz won in the first game in that series. They could have went 3-0 against the Jazz, and I feel like people are too easy to, crap on the Jazz, well, deservedly so, but they don't give Jason Kidd enough credit for what he did coaching-wise for that team, and now we're seeing it against the best team in basketball, the Suns, or quote unquote the best team in basketball, because you know me, I am biased. I am your biased representative here on FMC. I am a Laker fan through and through. So the 2 guarantees you can guarantee from me is that I will crap on the Suns, more specifically Chris Paul, and 2, I will never root for the Boston Celtics. You can always have that guarantee from me, and trust me, for non-bias on everything else except for those 2 teams. So that's why I think one of those teams is going to the conference finals, and that's the Phoenix Suns, but they'll lose in 6 to the Golden State Warriors, and then the Boston Celtics will lose either game 6, game 7. I'm going to give them faith and say it goes to 7. I really am hesitant to go against Giannis Antetokounmpo, but I said at the beginning of that series that it was going 7. I'll stick to that and say Boston and Milwaukee go 7 there. But the Bucks win, like I said at the beginning of the series, and it's going to be Bucks and Heat, and I'm taking the Bucks in 6.
You know what?
No, 7.
You know what? Fuck it. Dallas Bucks is your finals. Dallas wins game 7. Dallas wins the Western Conference Finals. Luka officially arrives. There's going to be no doubt that Luka is the second best player. We're going to get Luka, Giannis. This is what everybody wants to see, right? The 2 best players in the league, Luka, Giannis. I think the Bucks win, but we're gonna get it. This is actually what I'm rooting for. Now, give me Luka against Giannis.
Yo, do you like? Let me just warn everybody. We appreciate everyone who watches the show, but I am going to be insufferable if the Suns lose to the Dallas Mavericks. You're not gonna.
You're 100% gonna be insufferable.
I will be laughing. I think literally next week. We're just gonna start the show with me with at least a 1 minute laugh track.
We're gonna honestly like game seven Saturday. What time's game 7 on Saturday? Game 7 is. Can I not scroll over? Jeez. Okay, there. Oh, they don't have it listed. Yeah, is it Sunday?
Maybe they.
Oh, it is Sunday. Oh, it's to be determined on Sunday. Okay. Because it could depend on Bucks Celtics. Okay, it's Sunday. I assume that it's Sunday like evening, but it could. The time will probably depend on if Bucks Celtics goes 7. Because if that goes 7, we'll probably get Bucks Celtics at like 7, and then Dallas Phoenix at like 9:30. But if there's only one game 7, the game will probably be at like 8 or so. I don't know if we can do a watch along on Sunday night because it'll be late for you in the UK. On Sunday night. We might do maybe we do like a special Monday morning coffee or something, like a quick one. If you if we get 2 game 7s, I think we're gonna have to do a Monday morning show and react to game 7s. I think we're gonna have it. Probably won't be like an hour and a half. You won't get all the TV talk and all that stuff, but we will definitely talk about game 7s. And I will also say this. If we know it's Suns and Dallas. If Dallas wins, just record yourself cackling.
I'm gonna do the Skip Bayless. What Skip Bayless does after like big games. I have to.
And I'll just upload that onto the channel. Just you cackling.
Oh man, I'm gonna give you a mix of like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith after like the big game. Like, I told you it was gonna happen. I told you this man chokes. Oh man, I'm like giddy. I'm like giddy just thinking about it. I know, Kaden, that the Dallas ain't gonna win game 7, but just the thought of it. Has just made me feel like it's like 2 days before Christmas, and I'm really, really excited about Christmas. That's what it feels like.
I'm kind of rooting for Dallas at this point. I like Luka, I really do, and Luka Giannis final, like that's cool with me.
Even Dallas versus Warriors conference finals, that would be a bunch of fun.
Yeah, like the Suns have been the best team, but the way they performed in this second round, I don't have a lot of confidence in them right now. And the games haven't been fun. Like, at least show up. Don't be so lifeless. Horrible. All right, I'm gonna send this link to Caden so we can do some. I probably should have sent this earlier, but I do have a surprise for you from Caden. I will pop that on the screen here in a second. Oh, Caden didn't screw it up. I've not tested this, so if it's screwed up, it's Caden's fault.
Always blame someone else.
Well, it would legitimately be his fault. It's not unsolicited blame. I don't think I used that word correctly, but it's all right. Here we go. Let's see if this works. It didn't, Caden. You have to blank out the white spaces there. It's a background. Can I upload it as a background? It's on an overlay, Caden. That doesn't work. Hold on, let me see if I can upload as a background.
That's the best.
It doesn't work, Caden. There. We can do that. But then our names are done. Caden. You gotta blank out the white spaces.
Oh, that's lovely.
They don't gotta be like PNGs.
Hey, there was too much black on the screen. You got my black background, you got my black ass, and my black THH one. So yeah, it makes sense. Have the little white there.
Caden has messed up the overlay. He says it worked on my StreamYard. Well, it's not working on ours. Caden is here. And yell at him. Caden, what happened?
It worked on my StreamYard.
I don't believe you.
Oh,
It worked
man.
on
I don't believe
mine.
you.
That's all I'll say. It worked on mine.
Take a screenshot of it working on yours.
Okay. Let me make sure because I used it earlier and it worked.
Maybe hold on. I may have actually screwed this up, and then if I did, I will take full blame for it. Hold on. Let me change it to a. I'm gonna try this and let's see if it works now.
Yeah, it's working on mine.
I don't believe you, Caden. I think you have completely messed this up, and it's all your fault.
I am DMing you a screenshot.
No, I don't. You photoshopped it. You're clearly good with photos. All right, get off screen for a second. No, see, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Let me see if I sent you the wrong JPEG.
I'm dying right now. That's great. This is great.
There's a very good chance I sent you the wrong JPEG.
You have not DM'd me a screenshot because it doesn't. You don't have a legitimate screenshot of it working on your StreamYard.
This is the best.
You were attempting to Photoshop your screenshot right now. That's
this
what
is
you're
the
trying to
best edition of the penalty box that we've ever had on FMC.
I DM'd you a screenshot. You can see the background cut out in the screenshot.
Yeah, but okay, so that works, but you gotta show your face on it. Like you have to put yourself on the overlay. Let me show you the screenshot Caden has sent me. So again, people don't think that I am making things up here. What a stupid segment this is. All right, hold on.
I might have sent you the wrong version. That's possible.
And I will explain why Caden is still incorrect when it comes to the. So this is an actual. This is meant to be full screen.
This is
All right.
just great.
So this is the screenshot Caden sent me, but you see he does not have his face on there, so it is still just a picture.
I think I know the issue. I think whenever I sent it to you as a JPEG in DM, it did not keep the cutout holes. It filled them in with white space.
Can you email it to me?
Yes.
Okay. I'll DM you my email. I mean,
yeah, I'll DM you the file.
People know it. Okay. All right, here's my email. If anybody wants to email me, it's jeremylambert88@gmail.com. I don't care if my email's out there. Whatever.
He's an 88 baby. The best year for babies.
True. I'm trying not to get fired. Who's gonna fire me? You can't fire me.
I mean, if Jeremy was ever going to get fired for anything he said on this show, he would have get fired after like the first episode.
Yeah, I'd say fuck Sean Ross Sapp on all the Fightful shows that I'm on. All right, I threaten to fight Sean every single day. I'm good. I mean, I'm sure there are stuff that I could say that would definitely get me fired. I'm not dumb enough to cross that line. And the stuff that I do say is all in jest and good fun. So I don't think I'm in any risk to getting fired. Sean loves me.
Yes.
I was not the one who tweeted.
It should work now.
All right. I was not the one who tweeted rubbing inner thighs. That was
Who
not
tweeted?
me.
Who tweeted that? Do we know?
No, I apparently it was somebody like who had like old TweetDeck access. I have no idea who tweeted. Wow. We did talk about cyber sex with Jarrett Bailey on our Twitch stream earlier this week. Everybody can go watch that. That's on Overbooked.
So Jarrett Bailey it doesn't know AIM, but he knows about cyber sex.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody knows what cyber sex is, right?
I mean, has he done it? That's the question.
Oh yeah. I mean, Jared tells the story. He was getting pictures while we were on Twitch, so he was like, everyone go watch the No Mercy stream where we're playing as Steve Blackman doing the Hardcore Championship run, and Jarrett Bailey joins us, and we had some conversations on that show, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Caden, you have tried this again. You're cutting into your penalty box time. This is the wrong thing, by the way.
I sent a second confirmation of a screenshot.
Hold on. Let's see if this works. How do I remove this overlay?
I'm having a great time.
I'm
having a great time.
There's a little like.
Oh my God! It worked.
There it is.
There you go. Good job,
There
Caden.
it is.
All right, we got it. Caden has not disappointed us too much, just a
He's
little
magical.
bit.
Magical person, Caden.
Yes. Thank you for the overlay. He's also created us a logo that I'm not going to pop on screen now. I got to have more surprises for everybody coming up. But he's created us a logo. I think Caden's just going to do all of our graphics. I got to send me your PayPal. I do see your confirmation, DM, by the way. Send me your PayPal.
Okay.
So I can send you some cash for this. We don't make any money off of this show. So this is coming out of my personal savings
There you go.
for you,
Can
Caden.
I get my blimp?
No, we don't have blimps. Are you kidding me? You get no blimps.
I want Danhausen's blimps.
You can go to Five Below and get you a blimp or something. I don't know if they have that where you live. That's how much that's the kind of blimp you'll be able to afford with the money that I'm sending you. I apologize. I cannot give you more. I don't get paid for this show. Sean Ross doesn't pay me nothing, man. Everyone sends super chats to pay for Caden's graphical salary here. SB3 doesn't get anything.
Yeah, I do. This is one of the shows I do out of the love of talking to Jeremy.
Caden's getting more money off this show than we are. SB3, what the fuck?
I gotta give it. I gotta give it to him for the overlay. I mean, yeah, he deserves it. He deserves it.
I spent like maybe 5 hours yesterday in total because I kept messing it up and having to change the canvas size and then having a mental breakdown over it and then needed to take a break.
It is definitely not worth it. Definitely not worth it for that.
Well, he has to give me my education. This is my this is hockey 101. That's the other version of penalty blocks. It's hockey 101 where SP3 learns about hockey. So let's hear it, Caden. What's been going on in the NHL playoffs?
All right, well, I'm going to start with the East. So we had Boston versus Carolina in Game 6 last night. Boston ended up tying the series, but it's really not been a competitive series, in my opinion. Every team's just been blowing out the other on their home ice, and Game 7 is going to Carolina. So I think Carolina is going to take it. I don't see anything special in this series. It's kind of boring a little bit. But, another series that's going to get real interesting in Game 7 tonight Game 6 is going to be Rangers and Penguins. The Penguins, Sidney Crosby, the captain, got injured by Jacob Trouba last game by a dirty hit that they're just not looking at. So Crosby's out. The Rangers ended up getting a win and forcing in Game 6. And if Crosby's not there, I don't think the Penguins have any shot of winning this series. But besides that, the Rangers just have not looked good. They've looked like complete garbage. And Igor Shesterkin is a fraud of a goalie.
That's true. He's not played well. He's not played well this series.
It's terrible.
It's kind of disappointing because I like him and I like watching elite goalies do their thing in the playoffs as long as it's not against my team. And he's not been good. Crosby's injury changes a lot.
Changes everything.
It changes because he's been the best player this series and arguably the best player in the playoffs. And so him being out, that's tough for Pittsburgh. Can't blow a 3-1 lead though. Don't care.
Yeah,
can't blow a 3-1 lead.
Well, let's talk about a team who blew a 3-0 goal lead in Game 5. Capitals were up 5-0 on the Panthers in Game 5, and then Carter Verhaeghe of the Florida Panthers got 5 points, 2 goals, 3 assists in order to get the Panthers over the Capitals, winning Game 5. They have Game 6 tonight in Washington. I am a Florida Panthers fan. They're my second favorite team in the league, and I've been waiting for them to get into that second gear, get the offense going, and I think they got it. They got that gear into motion, and now I think the Panthers have a very good path of getting to the Stanley Cup final if they can get over Washington in this game.
It looks like if Florida wins, let's talk about the series that people care about. Tampa Bay and Toronto. Because this series has been just fantastic theater. Toronto out here, they're trying to end their playoff demons, trying to win a playoff series for the first time since 2004 or some shit. They were up 3-2 in the series. They were up late in game. I guess they were up in the third period. It's about 10 minutes ago. Took a 5-on-3 penalty to give Tampa Bay some life. Lose it in overtime last night. Game 7 in Toronto. I can't imagine the nervous energy that's going to go on in that series. Who do you like in Game 7, kid?
I'm taking the Toronto Maple Leafs. So fun, like interesting fact is I wore a heart rate monitor during overtime last night, and at one point I reached 130. So I was like, all right, let's see how this goes. Because I'm pulling for Toronto. I'm my dad's from Canada. That's why I'm a Canadiens fan, and I like to cheer for my Canadian teams. And I've been very invested in Toronto.
That's cowardly.
That's
cowardly, Caden. If you're from Canada, you should hate all the other Canadian teams.
No, you cheer for the Canadian. No, you're supposed to cheer for all the other Canadian teams.
No,
I have a John Tavares Maple Leafs jersey hung up in my closet.
Why?
I meant to wear it today.
Get out of here, CM Punk.
I bought it the second John Tavares signed with the Maple Leafs. I went online, I bought the jersey.
Boo.
But I'm taking Toronto. Toronto should have won that game last night. The ref missed a really bad interference call, and that led to the game-winning goal by Braden
Don't
Point.
blame the refs.
That was bad. And then there was a phantom high sticking that led to the 5-on-3 on Victor Hedman. Victor Hedman's 6'9". How are you going to get a high stick on the guy? It's not possible.
Don't blame the refs.
I'm blaming the refs. Toronto's going back to Toronto for Game 7. Those fans are going to get behind the team. Matthews is going to come up. Marner and Matthews have looked like absolute beasts in this series. David Kampf has been like a surprising player. I did not know who this guy was going into this season, and he's played phenomenally. I think Toronto will take this in Game 7 and go face the Panthers in the second round.
Toronto and Florida would be really fun. I'm going with Toronto. I really thought they were going to win last night, honestly. I thought they were going to win in overtime. They were the better team last night, but Tampa Bay just finds a way. I am going with Toronto in Game 7, though. I like Toronto. I like Carolina in Game 7. And then Oilers and Kings. Who do you got in Game 7?
So, yeah, that's where I was about to go. I'm going to go with the Oilers. I'm going to go with the Oilers in Game 7. Connor McDavid is an absolute other beast. He's finally, like, the last few years we've been wondering, like, is McDavid going to actually turn it on in the playoffs? This year he has. He's been he's been the best player in any playoff series so far. He is the best player in the world. I've been getting in arguments with my dad because I think he's a better player than Wayne Gretzky.
You should punch your dad in the face. That's what should happen. Just be like, Connor McDavid. How are you going to say he's better than Wayne Gretzky, though? Come on now.
Look, pure talent. I believe Wayne Gretzky is the most overrated player of all time because of his talent. I don't think he was that good.
Jesus.
What are we doing here?
That's the one thing I know.
This another day. Like, I'll get into this another day.
Your dad should punch you in the face, actually.
Connor McDavid has been amazing. Mike Smith has been really good in goal. I don't think LA has enough to get through that Game 7. They've been very well. Like, they've surprised me throughout every single shift. Philip Deneau is still proving to be like one of the best defensive centers in the league, but it's in Edmonton. I think they're going to take it in Game 7. And then going to there's only one more series left. There's Game 6 tonight, Flames in Dallas. I got Flames taking it in Dallas because that series is boring and Dallas cannot score.
All right. Yeah, I've hated the Flames in Dallas series. I kind of want Dallas to win just because it would pop me if the Flames lose. Where are you at on my Avs? We're going to face the Blues. The Minnesota Wild did what the Minnesota Wild do in the playoffs. Hate to see it. So we got the Blues in the second round. I assume we're going to lose in 6 games because that's what we always do in the second round.
So I'm interested in this series because if Darcy Kemper is out in net for the Avalanche, I originally thought that's an issue. Then I looked at Pavel Francois' record in the regular season.
Francouz, get it right, Caden. Francouz.
It was 15-5-1 or 15-5-0.
Kemper's going to play, by the way. Kemper was back at practice. Okay. He's not missing anything.
Yeah. If Kemper's back, I think Colorado is going to probably take St. Louis and win in either 6 or 7. The only issue I have if I'm Colorado is St. Louis has that playoff experience that Colorado does not have. They went to the Cup in 2019. And if playoff Binnington is truly back in form from that run in 2019, the Avs need to be scared.
Fuck Jordan Binnington. He's horrible. He complains about everything. He's a little bitch, honestly.
He'll punch Nathan McKinnon.
That's what I'm mostly afraid of is Bennington's going to take a cheap shot at one of our guys and injure him. He's a little bitch. The edge of ice hockey is what I like to call Jordan Binnington. I'm always worried about any series. I assume we're going to lose. I would be happy when the schedule gets released and I can mark off the days that I'm going to be in a depressed mode. But we took care of Nashville. Now we got St. Louis. We beat them last year in the playoffs. It's a different team. This St. Louis team is much better. I was shocked they beat the Wild as easily as they did, because I actually thought Minnesota was going to be make kind of a run this year. And then I like watching Minnesota fail, so it's funny to me. But now it's
the good thing for you is that I believe Torrey Krug will be out most of the series or the whole series for the Blues, which
that
is
doesn't. I'm not banking on like
loss.
energy injuries or anything like that. I don't. That's fine, but I don't bank on any of that stuff. That okay, Krug is injured, I just assume we're going to lose. We got to conquer our demons. Matthew Shane was round 1, Ryan O'Reilly, and I guess Brendan Sad round 2. We'll see Tyson Berry, I assume, in round 3, and then in the finals we'll see Pierre-Edouard Bellemare in the finals. That's our Eastern Conference demon. All right, Caden, anything to plug?
10 Count Wrestling on YouTube and Spotify.
There you go. Go follow Caden. Thank you for the graphic, Caden. Even though you screwed it up first, but you got there in the end. That's all that matters. You got there in the end. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. There we go. That was Caden with our hockey talk and our graphical talk. Apparently,
the penalty box. That was another.
He's got to get the penalty box graphic.
Yeah, I just messaged Romeo because I forgot to message him all throughout last week for that. I was like, oh, since I'm reminded now, let me message him, see if he can do that for us. But yes, I like the new graphic. We can either debut it for the last half of the show or late next week.
Well, I'm gonna send this link to Cher, our pal Cher, to see if she wants to bullshit. Since she's already outed that she has not watched the challenge this week, but I'm gonna message her regardless to see if she does want to jump on for challenge talk. I also got to pull up our draft rosters here. So 2 episodes premiered. I've only watched the first episode, so I'm gonna have to try to recall this without the help of the great Wikipedia. But it kind of starts with everybody. Yes, you're gonna have to carry a lot of this SP3. So it kind of starts with the big introductions, big party, and all this stuff. Mark Long just bought these shoes that he didn't even remove the tags on, which popped me.
And he got outed for that. I was like, you still have the tags on. Yeah. I love how it was basically, if you remember the beginning to Inferno 2, the intro video for Inferno 2, that's basically how everybody showed up to this one. So
dressed in the 9s and everything.
Yeah, I like the first night, how everybody, is all happy. It's like a family reunion and stuff like that. I like Tina and Veronica coming together. I love the Real World Austin coming together, because that's my people. That's my people. I'm an old school Real World fan, and Real World Austin is one of my favorite seasons. So
that was one of the best seasons of that show.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody was fucking. Wes and Joanna, Melinda and Danny, and then Melinda and Danny became like the love story of the Real World for a while until they got their divorce. But yeah, I like that. What was the challenge was the one where they look into the hole. And it was a
puzzle, or it was a memory game, essentially, a memory puzzle, essentially.
Yeah, which they screwed Cyrus on, because they established in All Stars 1 that Cyrus is colorblind, and that was one of the most important parts of the memory game, is that it was colors for the puzzle, so you kind of automatically knew Cyrus was going to be in the bottom half, and he was last, so he had to go straight into the elimination. But I like the format so much. Like, the format for this should be the format on the regular season, where the 2 people that win, they get a sabotage, so there's some incentive besides just being a part of the vote for who's going in. You get some incentive to be in first place, and then they have the top 3 men and top 3 women be the authority, and they have to vote in a man and a woman to verse the last place man and woman from the daily challenge. So I like the format in general.
I do like the format as well. As you explained, like the winners, like the actual winners, it is individual, at least right now. We'll see if it gets changed, but it's individual, male, female. And then the winners for male, female, they get a sabotage. So there's incentive to like actually win. And then there's incentive to get into the top 3 because you have power as part of the top 3. And then you also just don't want to lose because if you lose, you go straight into the elimination. So you always want to win regardless, but you, at least if you, if you get top 3, then you have some sort of power. And if you're like there, you can't throw the challenge as an individual because if you throw the challenge, you're going straight into the elimination as well. So I do like that part of the format. And then as we learned after the elimination, which we'll get into, the winners of the elimination get these stars. And we don't quite know what the stars mean yet, at least for episode 1. We don't know what the stars mean yet. So I'm very interested to see what happens there. So the 2 losers were Cyrus and who was the Cynthia. Yeah. So Cyrus and Cynthia were the 2 losers of the thing. So they go straight to the elimination. So the vote when it comes to the top 3, Wes was the overall male winner. And then the overall
Sylvia.
Yes. Sylvia did very well. Yeah.
Sylvia might be the most improved player, even though she still has the Sylvia in her where she's just
You got her
nervous.
last round too. You got her last round in the draft.
I was hyped. If this whole draft was on a point system, that would be like the sneaky win if I got like a bunch of points for her winning the daily challenge because I got her in the last round. But Sylvia surprised the hell out of me. But she's still Sylvia and she's still so nervous being around all these vets and all-stars, so she didn't know what to do, and that's why when they did that whole scene where she's like, oh, I don't know who to vote for, I was just like, don't worry, you in the authority with Wes. If you need someone to tell you what to do, Wes will do that.
So they went cowardly in the authority, and they talked about, oh, we can make a big move. They mentioned Jordan. MJ brought up Jordan. MJ was in the top 3, and he brought up Jordan. Wes is like, I'm not opposed to that. And then Wes just basically says like, we pretty much can just establish if you finish second to last, you're going in. So it's performance based, and then everyone will just follow suit, and we'll put it on somebody else to basically break this chain. And the second to last were Tyler for the men and Tina for the women. And Veronica did not want to vote for Tina because that's her friend. And now because she had to do this, because she was pretty much overruled on this. Yeah. Because she had to do this, Tina now is like not trusting Veronica. We will see how that plays out. But we got Tina against Cynthia. And then we got, hey, there's Cher. And then we got Tyler against Cyrus for the men. And it was tunnel brawl, essentially. They had to crawl in these like little tunnels and they pass each other, dig some sand, pick up these sandbags, crawl back. And in the end, Cher, we both lost competitors from the draft. I lost Cynthia, which was my last pick, whatever. And then you lost Tyler. I almost lost 2. I was about to be like, oh my God, I'm going to lose 2 people first episode. This is not going well for me. But fortunately, Cyrus pulled it out over Tyler.
I really like eliminations like that. Like the hall brawls, and I feel like they don't do ones like that as much anymore, like the real physical contact ones. There was one, it was on a team one that they had to like run through like the crossway and like go back and forth, like putting the ball.
Yeah.
Where CT was just like, guys were like flying off of his shoulders.
Truck. I think that was wasn't that Rivals 1 where it was CT and Brett and Adam because Adam gassed out at the end and CT had
Yeah, truly, I want to go back. There's like 6 or 7 seasons there that were so good and had like the best people. I want to go back and like watch all of those because they were great.
I want to say it's from Ruins, because Ruins was the one where Wes comes back after being off and he's pissed off at Joanna and Kenny for hooking up on the island, and he just causes mayhem on the champions team for like the first half of that season. And then they had, I think it was either Fresh Meat 2 where they introduced Cara and Laurel, and then after that is Cutthroat, and then Rivals 1, which Rivals 1 I say is probably the best season of the challenge ever. Then you had Battle of the X's, then Battle of the Seasons, where Frank was just a complete jerk. And then you got Rivals 2, which is one of my favorite seasons because CT and West were a team. Like,
And
my favorite team ever.
I liked those type of like the rivals, and I liked those type of themes because now it's like War of the World. Like they come up with the stupidest theme. I'm like, what does this mean? Like,
you got CT on Team Europe. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
For War of the World.
those were all like those seasons there all were so good though, because it was like all the people that are like 40 now were about 30 and they were just super entertaining. And that one season Wes took off a couple seasons and then he came back and he had the soccer elimination that he was so stoked about because he plays soccer, and then he was like, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you. Like, greatest thing ever. That's why I was so excited that he's on the All-Star season, because they needed some Wes in there.
And I love the first thing he says in his confessional is, I you know, all this kumbaya stuff on the All-Stars. He's like, I'm not for it. Someone needs to put the cutthroat in All-Stars. And you can tell he's going to do it. He's going to scare them off.
At some point. Yeah, he's like, everybody's scared of me. They're all worried about me. And, everybody's talking about Wes. Can't trust them. Just can't do anything. Wes couldn't slide any rookie DMs this season. He in the actual seasons, he's like just sliding in the DMs like, hey, let's work together and stuff. I'm sure he messaged Team Austin and was like, all right, we got each other's back, right? But he doesn't have the rookies to get in their DMs to try to coax well with them. Everyone knows what to expect from Wes. It ain't a mystery.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part more about the people that haven't been on for so long. Because, I mean, like, we just had Wes on. We know, everybody knows what Wes is going to do. But the people that we haven't seen in 10 or 15 years, it's like, okay, how are they going to handle this? A lot of these people don't know them and everything. Like, I mean, there's people that I have to Google them to remember who they are when I see their name pop up. Because I'm like, sorry.
I do like the whole West versus Yes rivalry that has been sprouting up on social media, because I know you guys haven't seen episode 2, but I kind of now understand why West has a problem with him, because it's just a battle of philosophies. Because West is bringing the drama and cutthroat. That's why Yes doesn't like him,
and
because
Yes is all kumbaya. Yeah.
And Yes is all kumbaya, but yet he's still playing the game. So Wes doesn't like that because he feels like you're fronting because you're doing all the kumbaya stuff, but you're just as cutthroat as me.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that they're both so intelligent. So having them be on opposite sides of it is very interesting as well. Because I feel like most of the people that come on the show are not very intelligent.
That's why they're on the show, is because they're not very intelligent.
Well, I mean, like the older ones, a lot of them, they were straight out of college. So yeah, they got on Road Rules or Real World or whatever. But now it's like these people want their career to be on MTV shows.
Yeah.
So like the people that come on now, it's like, have you ever read a book? Like,
I don't know half the people that are on these shows nowadays, which is a shame. It sucks.
That's why I'm not so into the normal seasons anymore, because I don't know who these people are, and I'm like, I don't even get invested in them because we'll probably never see them on another season again. So it's like, okay, wish we could have only seen Josh on one season.
Like, why couldn't we just get Josh on one season? Like, seriously. But they have
Josh is good television. I don't, y'all, like, fuck him. He's horrible, but he's good television, right? I'll give Josh that. Some of these guys they don't stand out. They're not memorable. At least you remember Josh.
That is true. That one season where they had the 2 Ambers and all those other new people, I swear to God, I did not remember who. They could put them in front of me right now and I would not know who was who, what show they were from, if they were from the UK or the United States. I would not be able to tell you. Like,
that's how I feel watching back, like War of the Worlds 1 and War of the Worlds 2. There's a lot of different people where I'm just like, why did you even come on here? Because they were never going to use you again because you lack personality. Like,
they come on there and get their like $30,000 check to be there, and they're like, all right, I'm here.
Good. Get a nice vacation out of it, and
Yeah.
that's that.
Pretty
Look,
much.
it's a good life if you can get it. Honestly, a nice vacation, get on television, get some money.
Yeah.
Somebody pay me to take a vacation and be on television. All right.
I'll do the competitions.
I don't care about the competitions. Oh,
I wouldn't
immediately.
I wouldn't be good television
Fuck
because
me.
I don't drink and I don't like people, so I'm gonna be by myself the whole time.
You're just gonna have people talking behind your back, like she's so anti-social.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so stuck up, and then they'll like pan to me in a room sitting in a corner reading a book.
Oh, that would be great. That's what I want to see. I want to see Jeremy talking trash about people, threatening to kick them in the face.
I'll do it. I'll turn it on for the camera. I'll drink, even though I don't really drink, but I'll go crazy over there.
Actually, they might like me because they can get me to say a bunch of confessionals about how I'm doing it for my kids. So they would just
True.
play that over and over and over and over. So
Just be like, I'm the female Corey.
yeah, exactly.
Please don't hook up with everybody. Share. That's what the female Corey is. Just
No. I mean, female
I know
Corey.
now he's gotten better. Cher just removed herself. She said, "Nope."
No,
this
my
conversation.
mom called me.
Oh.
Oh, that's
He's
funny.
gotten better about his hookups, and he's just like, yeah, it's all about Riley. It's all about her, and all this stuff. But man, that man was on
'Cause
a
he's got-
rampage.
He's got the kid with Cheyenne. He's got the kid with Taylor. Him and Taylor got another kid on the way. Like, dude better not be hooking up with anybody else because he's obviously pretty fertile.
Don't think he cares. Don't think he cares at this point. Really
I will
don't.
say though, Corey was more entertaining when he was doing that. I haven't been entertained at Corey in a while, especially not season 36 or season 37.
He's not very good. Is one of the problems with Corey.
I miss Corey and Tony fighting over pasta.
Oh man, that is
man.
like the when I tell wifey about the challenge, I always tell her about that one. Like someone got disqualified for fighting over pasta.
It was just the funniest. Like, he freaking body slammed him over some pasta.
Pasta,
love
especially
pasta.
in this house,
Serious.
we have that shit like 2 times a week because you get plenty of leftovers out of it as well. Pasta's some serious business. I'll kick one of these kids in the head over some pasta if they
I do
try to
love
get
some
leftovers.
pasta. I love pasta. That's
I'll power bomb them. That's fine.
We
So
out
I see where they were coming from, honestly.
We out here getting power bombed over pasta. All right, that's fair. That's fair. But I gotta give it to your guy Cyrus on this first episode. He was smart. He worked smarter, not harder. Because Tyler was like digging and digging and digging, but they're going to the same dirt pile. And it was just like Cyrus was just like, well, I'm just gonna do this slow because you're doing all the work for me.
yeah.
I was like, genius, Cyrus. You're colorblind, but you're smart.
Well, and Cyrus is like 50, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter how in shape you are. You got some pain when you're 50. So, Tyler's probably 10 plus years younger than him. So, yeah, let him do the work. That's why I like that they have Kayla on there, who's 29, against people in their
Kayla's
50s.
29?
Yeah. She's
It feels like she's been on television for like 15 years now.
It has. Because they do like at one point they were doing like 2 challenges per year.
Yeah.
So she was on a lot of those seasons.
And she was
so
on like the
wow.
Champs versus Stars and doing the regular season. And then she was on the Are You the One or whatever the hell it was. And then she was all over social media. So
Sure. Anything to promote, share? Guess not. Good talk.
I
Good talk, Cher.
I don't really have anything going on.
That's fair.
You can send me good vibes because I have like 16 days left of grad school and I have an 800-point project that's due that I haven't started on. So
Good luck.
it's on Major League Baseball. I can bullshit my way
nice.
through some Major
Oh,
League
you're good.
Baseball stuff. So I mean, but yeah. So that's about it. Don't really have much more.
There you go. There you go. Caden is putting over your hair.
There we go.
Who is?
Caden.
Oh.
There. Put it on the screen.
Oh, thank you. It actually looks terrible. I was supposed to get it done this Wednesday. Look at my roots. They're awful. The girl who does my hair, her daughter had to have surgery, so I can't get it done until next week. So
well,
I put toner on this side, and then my hair turned lavender. So then I had to wash it with Blue Dawn dish soap. And yeah, it's been a time. It's been a time.
I think that you're washing your hair with dish soap.
Yes, Blue Dawn dish.
Because the purple shampoo, I left it in too long. So then my hair was like split purple and orange. And I'm like, this is not what we're going for. And the only thing I could get to get it out was Blue Dawn dish soap. So I'm like, yeah, it was entertaining. But I don't have anything else going on. I'm just here.
Fair. I mean, very fair. We're all just here at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. I don't really watch wrestling anymore. So.
We don't talk about wrestling on the show. Get out of here, Cher. Thanks for joining us, as always.
Yes.
All right, SP3. Anything else? We've gone way long for this show. We'll pick back up on Entourage at some point. I'm actually like way ahead when it comes to Entourage, so I've been going ahead on stuff. But anything you'd like to plug, SP3?
I won't really need to like watch Entourage until we get to like season 5 and 6. Those are the only seasons that are a blur to me. But yes, check me out at True Hill SP3. Later today, True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Myself and Jay News preview the New Japan Pro Wrestling Capital Collision pay-per-view for tomorrow. So go over, check that out, and I'm on, I think, Sportskeeda Wrestling later on with Dutch Mantel, so I will try to make Dutch say something crazy.
SC3, always putting in the work. You're going to find him punching Alex McCarthy in the face in the next couple of weeks as well. Guys, we appreciate the support here at Fightful Overbook. Thanks again to Caden for doing some graphics for us, and we'll roll out some more graphics from Caden in the coming weeks. We'll be back next week talking maybe on Monday. We might be back on Monday. At the very least, there will be potentially an SP3 laughing video on Monday. There could be a full episode of the show on Monday. We shall see. It'll all depend on how the playoffs break with Game 7. Bye, everybody. You guys enjoy your weekend.